Hi, everyone. I have with me Dr. Connie Mariano, who is a Rear Admiral, the first military woman to become the White House doctor to three U.S. presidents, a published author, the founder of the Center for Executive Medicine that provides presidential care to CEOs and their families. In 2020, she was the Global Beauty Awards Lifetime Achievement recipient and most recently served as a judge for the 72nd annual Miss Universe Pageant. Welcome, Dr. Connie.
Thanks, Maureen. It's a great honor to be on your podcast. Thank you.
So I am curious, what was the experience like serving as a judge?
It was a tremendous honor and something I've never done, and very few people I know have ever judged or served on the selection committee for the Miss Universe pageant. And, I think I've impressed more people having been a selection committee member on Miss Universe than being a White House doctor. More people want to know about that than working at the White House. So I think it's incredibly an honor. I consider it the Olympics of all pageantry, and also to have worked with delegates from 84 countries and to work with the caliber of other judges was exciting and really made you appreciate how tough it is in the world of pageantry.
It is tough. Now, which would you say is tougher, being a White House doctor or being part of the selection committee for Miss Universe?
I would tell people it's harder to pick Miss Universe than it is to pick students to go into med school. Because I interview candidates for med school and I've been on admissions committees. And there's a set formula that we use, certain criteria that we use from MCAT scores, GPA, interview essay. But when it comes to Miss Universe and the delegates, it's a combination of the visual aspect, how do they appeal, and then your sense of their poise, their ability to think on their feet, a lot of the human skills. Do they connect? Are they articulate? Can they connect with an audience? And do they project a very positive brand that's to the benefit of the crown they're going to wear?
Well, that is very good insight because I also was part of the whole interview process. Now, I wasn't a judge, but I was the official timer. And let me tell you, it is such an above board process under the leadership of the Miss Universe president, Paula Shugart, and the CEO of Miss Universe, Amy Emmerich. Both of those women are former Global Beauty Awards Lifetime Achievement recipients. And what I can tell you is that I remember the auditor just watching to make sure that I timed each delegate properly. Everyone received the same time. And we had three auditors just making sure that I was timing properly. Now, I couldn't hear the interview. You did. You heard every single interview. Can you share with us what were you looking for in a queen? Like what resonated well with you?
Everything was above board, without a doubt. And each candidate, each delegate was interviewed by a total of six preliminary judges, or actually, yeah, six judges, and then three on each side. So two different panels. And they had only 4 minutes. And we rotated among the judge. We each took time to ask different questions based on their history, their country, and just some far off questions we'll ask just to see how they respond. And you look at their posture, their poise, if they connect with you, whether they give by memory, almost like they're wind up, with the memory, oh, this is my usual spiel, or are they just pausing enough to answer the question and be more authentic? And it's really finding authenticity and the sense that they are communicating and not just regurgitating sort of a set press line that they're supposed to say. And that's the part that you just have to sort out in 4 minutes. You have to make a quick decision in 4 minutes. Is this somebody who can represent Miss Universe?
Did you find as the pageant progressed that it got harder or easier for you to narrow down your winner?
It got harder because as you got narrowed down from 84 to 20 and then to 10 and then the final three, it's very tough because it doesn't take much. I mean, we got to see them on the runway and their costume and all the things they do. And every time you see them, how do they project on stage, but also what are they like on camera? Because that's how people are going to see them. We had the advantage of interacting one-on-one in front of a panel. The program is such above board because they would not let the judges mingle or mix with any of the delegates. If I had to go use the ladies' room, I always had somebody with me to make sure there weren't any other candidates there. So you can't show any preference to any particular country. So, you didn't know anybody, really didn't know anybody. It was whatever, how they projected one-on-one. But as we narrowed it down, it got really tough. It's like, you've only got a few seconds, 20, 30 seconds to decide, is this one yes or no? Which one? And then from there you start ranking and you're like, oh my gosh, what was that about her? Was it just the way she turned and the way she moved her body, or the way she responded to the crowd, or how she looked at the camera? I mean, and you have to do it quick. You can't just ponder it. You have to feel it right away. And the ones who get chosen have that special something, that special spark that bring them to your attention.
Is there something about the whole process that surprised you? Again, this was your first time judging a pageant. Was there something like, wow, I didn't know this about this experience until I did it?
It's more than what people think it is. People think, oh, it's a beauty pageant. Well, yes, they look at beauty. It's obviously, it's a scholarship, it's a scholarship pageant, scholarship contest. A lot of these women from countries that are third world countries have nothing. And this is their way out of poverty. And I always say you are gifted with beauty. It's what you do with the beauty that has everybody's attention. Now, what's your message and what do you stand for? And you have to pick it up really quick. Real life doesn't give you much chance to really go into detail. Tell me about your project. What do you do? It's like the 2-minute elevator talk that you give to somebody if you're pitching an idea. That's what they're doing. But it does strike me as a lot of people don't really appreciate how hard it is, how much work it is. And for them, they have their families involved, they have their own money involved, their countries are involved. It's a big deal for them. And, there's a lot of stereotypes we have about beauty pageants, Miss Congeniality and all the movies about it, Drop Dead Gorgeous, but they don't really know how tough it is in that. And you really have to seek that. It's not easy at all. It's a lot of work for them.
It is. It's a lot of work for them and a lot of work for you as well, trying to figure out who will be your winner. And I'm curious of all the experiences you've done, because you've done a lot of amazing experiences, from writing a book to being the White House doctor to now being part of the selection committee for Miss Universe. Where does this rank in terms of life experiences? Like, where would you rate this in a thermometer?
It's up there among the ones that fulfills my role as a woman. All the other titles I have are professionally related. It's in a world where, you're a physician, you do things, you're educated a certain way, you do a podcast, you get a message, but it looks at beauty. And as women, one of the things they look at, no matter how smart you are, is you have some type of beauty, right? And whether that's a hindrance, because the old stereotype of being a super smart girl is if you're super smart, but if you're gorgeous, they somehow discount your brains, your IQ, that you get so many points off if you're not a little bit more plain. And that why can't you have beauty and brain and ambition? And I think because that frightens a lot of people. And it made me think about what is beauty, what's attractive, and it's over good. And if people find you attractive, you've got their attention, So what do you do with that attention that now that you have it? Use good things for it. Use it for good things. And it looks at a lot of their poise and what they were dedicated to do to keep themselves healthy and in shape. But I also was touched by their personal stories of how they were raised, their family, about their relationships, their struggles. There was a certain amount of abuse in their lives. There was a lot of those things. But as a woman, you look at women who are attractive and, and you look, well, what about me? And as growing up, and I grew up in the world where, back in the 60s, my family would watch the Miss USA pageant, Miss America, and that was always a big deal. And I thought, oh, I could never fit that mold. I'm not tall enough. I'm not white. I'm not, but when you go to Miss Universe, you think, oh my gosh, had I been younger, that would have been fun, but it's a lot of work. It's something that you're dedicated. So it looks as your role, as your position as a woman. You know, what do we classify as feminine beauty? What's feminine beauty look like? And if I find that attractive, do I want to adopt some of the things they do? And I thought it gave me a little bit more confidence in my step to see, well, I got to see how they do it. And I can sort of emulate some of the things they do.
El Salvador pulled out the red carpet for all of us.
Yeah.
Absolutely excellent, from the stage to the experience to all that sightseeing that we went to. Again, best Miss Universe I've ever seen. Now, speaking of brains and beauty, for the next Global Beauty Awards, which is our 7th annual Global Beauty Awards, you're sponsoring a category called the Best in Healthcare Award. This is the Dr. Connie Mariano Best in Healthcare Award. And it is given to somebody who is a VIP voting member, somebody going to the healthcare. And it can be anything from being a nurse's assistant or being a nurse or anything in the healthcare related field or something similar.
Mhm.
The winner gets a $5,000 scholarship. And can you share, Dr. Connie, do you see more people going to the healthcare, and why the pageant community for this wonderful scholarship?
Med school applications in the last 2 to 3 years have gone up. And I think a lot of it is the pandemic. You know, you have a worldwide pandemic and you look around you, you say, we need more healthcare. We need more researchers. We need more nurses, EMTs. We need more doctors. We have a shortage of doctors in this country, and we are seeing more people apply now. There are more applicants. The acceptance rate is about 42%. So it's still low. Every applicant to med school in the last couple of years has applied to a minimum of 8 medical schools. So that takes some money to do that. And then to go to the interviews and to pitch for that. And then when or if you get into med school, it's easily over $250,000 to fund that. So they go for scholarships. So it's my way to help other pageant contestants who want to pursue a career in healthcare. And it can be a nurse practitioner, a dentist. You know, in fact, there was another contest winner who was a dentist, a researcher, some way that you're involved in helping other people through healthcare. And, you know, is it something that we see a lot of? I think it's just another way to help others. And they can be passionate. You see a lot of candidates who are passionate about family members who are sick, who have autism in their family and mental illness, and they choose that particular campaign to be an advocate for that. And if they choose healthcare, they'll always have a job. And if I can help them in some way to fund their education so that they get that start, it would be such a huge impact on all the people they help in this life.
Thank you for your support of the Global Beauty Awards, the pageant community. You've been a wonderful friend and mentor, so I greatly appreciate you.
You know, I want to thank you for your courage. I think a lot of people will look at beauty pageants and go, oh, she likes being on stage or does this. It takes a lot of guts to do that. You know, one of the most difficult things that they rank people that's hard to do is public speaking, being in front of a camera. And it takes a lot of courage, and let alone bare your soul and your body and just the way you dress up. And, you know, it's a really mean world now. There's a lot of bullying. They pick on you. They pick on beautiful people because they're envious. They pick on athletes. They pick on whoever is out there in the public setting. And to put yourself in the public eye and to be supportive of feminine beauty and the things that we stand for, important things in our life, it takes a lot of courage to continue that. And so kudos to those women who have the courage to do that, who want to take care of themselves and to honor the beauty that was given to them and to move on in life and portray a very positive message to everybody else.